Hello, your host today is Mr. Ishengoma, and we are going to be looking at surds. Surds are square roots of numbers that cannot be simplified into a whole number. In other words, as we know, whenever we talk about whole numbers, they are also known as rational numbers. And we have examples of rational numbers as any whole number. That could be maybe a 2 or a 4. And also a rational number could be a fraction. But we know the most important part is that for any square root of a square number, it turns up to be a rational number. So this is our main concern. Whenever we have a square root of a square number, that's a rational number. But also we know that a surd is an irrational root of a positive rational number. So in this case, we try to mean that for any irrational number, we will always have a root of a number that cannot be changed into a whole number. And these are examples of all of those numbers that cannot be changed into a whole number. Some of them are fully simplified and others cannot be simplified. Now, for those that, as you can see, 10 and 8, they're not fully simplified, but if you look at the numbers, they are not square numbers, so they remain inside a root. This root, sometimes we call it a radical. We call it a radical. Now, under surds, we have two main rules. The first main rule here, when you have a number multiplied to another number, it is the same as this first number being separate with the second number. And the second rule in surds, if you have one number divided by one number, inside the root, remember, we can write it as a fraction to mean division, because when you are dividing a number, it's the same as writing it as a fraction. So this is the same as splitting the two numbers separately. So this is our main two rules under surds. As we go on, we shall see many examples about them. Also, we need to know about similar surds. We need to know about similar surds. Most especially, whenever you multiply similar surds, right, based on the previous rule, it is the same as having them in one bracket, like in one root, like A times A. When this one is multiplied with that one, it's the same as having them in under one radical. So if they're under one radical, A times A is the same as A square. And once we have got square root of A square, simply square root and square will cancel, and we shall have our answer as a constant. So let's look at writing a radical to the form A root of B. Now, this comes from the rule of multiplication. Look at the number inside 8. It's not fully simplified, right? And we know 8 could be 4 times 2, right? So if 8 is 4 times 2, it means inside my radical, I have 4 times 2. And remember we said before, the first rule of radical can be changed to root of 4 times root of 2. And basically, we know that if we have root of 4, 4 is a square number. When we square root it, we shall get a whole number 2 times root of 2 will remain as root of 2. And hence, this will simplify to 2 root of 2. And we shall have written it to the form A root of B. Look at the next number here, number B. We have got 18. So if you look at 18 again, it is the same as 9 times 2. Hence, square root of 9 times square root of 2. And when we do that, remember, we shall get 3 times root of 2. And finally, this will be 3 root of 2. Let's look at the third example here. We have 75 inside the root. And if we have 75, remember also 75 by 3, we get 25. So this is the same as 25 times 3 inside the root. And according to the multiplication rule, this is the same as 25 times root of 3. And we know once we have got 25 under the square root, we get 5. And multiply by root of 3. And finally, we shall call it 5 root of 3. So these examples which have shown us that we can write any root to the form, to this format here. That is a root of b, as we have seen. Example 1, 2, and example 3. Now, we need to move on and we look at other examples. Addition of surds. Addition of surds. When we are adding surds, we can add, normally we add only the surds which are similar surds. And if you look at the example here, we have root of a plus root of b. If you remember algebra properly, when you see root of a, we can relate it, for example, is x. So this means if I have x plus x, I will always get 2x. So if I have 2x, is the same as remove x and replace it back with root of a. So that is the same thing here. Root of a plus root of a, I'll get 2 root of a. The same to b here. Look at this 2 root of b and 3 root of b. Again, I can rate it to, if I say root of b is like y, so that means my question would be like 2y plus 3y. And this would give me 5y. And as I have mentioned here, if that is 5y, if this is 5y, it is the same as 5 root of b. So if we go back to our previous question there, this would be 2 plus 3, and that would be giving us 5. Hence, my final answer would be 5 root of b. So here we have other questions to add. Basically, if I add 3 and 2, I will get 5 root of 2. Why? Because I am adding similar surds. I'm adding similar surds. Look at the next question here. I'm adding surds of 3. That means 5 plus 2 will give me 7 root of 3. Here again, I have the surds of 5. So 7 plus 6 would take me to 13, and I get 13 root 5. This is adding of surds. Now here I have an example. I have 3 with 3. That gives me 2 plus 3 gives me 5 root of 3. Then I have 2 root 2 and root 2. When I add these 2 plus here there is a 1, I will get 3 root 2. This is how we add surds. Now let's see how we subtract surds. Here, again, we subtract similar surds. So if I have 3 minus a 2, I'll end up with a 1. And we know 1 is the same as just writing root of a. The same to this one. 7 minus 3, I get a 4. And hence I have 4 root of 3. So if I come to these other questions, they have similar surds. So that means I will have 6 minus 2, giving me 4 root of 3. And if you look to the next question, I have same surds. That means 5 minus 3 will give me 2 root of 7. This is how we subtract surds. So we go ahead and see more examples. 7 minus 5 will give me 2 root 2. So that's how we subtract. Now here we have one more example with more than one surd. So if you collect like terms, we get 3 root 2 minus root 2 plus 5 root 7 minus 2 root 7. Now, these are similar surds here. So if I subtract them, I'll get 2 root 2. And also these ones are similar surds. If I subtract them 5 minus 2, I'll get 3 root 7. And that's how we subtract the surds. Next is multiplication of the surds. As we saw at the beginning, if I have if I have root of A and I have root of B, we will get root of A multiplied by root of B. We saw it at the beginning. So here's an example. If I have root of 2 and root of 3, this is the same, or putting them under the same radical, and then I multiply 2 and 3, I get root 6. The same to this one. If I have here a 2 and a 2, I will multiply 2 and 2. That will give me 4. And again, if I have root of 3 and I have root of 5, they will all go under one radical. That is 3 times 5, and it will give us root of 15. So let's see other examples here. In this case here, 7 is multiplying 1, which will end up as 7. Then root of 5 times root of 3 will give me 5 times 3. And finally, I'll get 7 root 15. But look at this example here. I have similar surds. So if I keep them under root, it will be 7 times 7, which will give us 49. And we know square root of 49 is 7. And this will conclude that the radical is over. And this will take us to the next example here. These 2 will multiply 1. I'll get a 2. But inside my radical, I will have 7 times 7 because I have similar radicals available. This will give me 2 root of 49. As we know, root of 49 is 7. So that means now I have 2 times 7, and my final answer will be 14, and the surd will be complete. Next example, I have 12 times 2. That will give me 24. But inside my root, I'll have 2 times 3, 2 times 5. I will have 2 times 5 because here is a 5, so times 5. And this will give me 24 root of 15. So that's how we multiply surds. Now let's see how we expand brackets of surds. This is, if you recall, if we recall, opening normal brackets, 2 will multiply here, and this 2 will multiply there. Hence, we shall get 2x plus 4. We shall use the same approach when we are dealing with surds. 2 will multiply the first surd, and we shall get 2 root 3. And again, 2 will multiply by 3, and we shall get 6. So that's how we expand the bracket. So the next one here, 2 will multiply root of 2, and we shall get 5 root 2. Again, 5 will multiply 4, and this will give us minus of 20. That's how we expand bracket. Now here we have surd times surd, but we have already seen when we multiply similar surds like this one, we shall end getting 2 times 2, right? Minus, again, this multiplied by that, we shall get 3 root of 2. Hence, this is the same as root of 4 minus 3 root 2, and our final answer will be root of 4, we shall get 2. So the answer will be 2 minus 3 root 2. Next again, we know now, same surd multiplied by same surd, we shall get 3. And again, surd multiplied by the number, we shall get 5 root 3. Now, when we multiply different surds, as we said before, it will be entering together in the same radical. So we shall get 3 root of 15 because, 3 root of 10, because when we multiply 2 and 5, we shall get 10. And then 5 multiplied by negative 1, we shall get root of 5. Being different surds, we will leave them separate. Okay, now we have to open the bracket, and after opening the bracket, we simplify. So as we know here, root of 2 times root of 2, the answer is 2. Why? Because this becomes 4, root of 4. This means here, root of 2 times root of 2, I'll get 2. Then root of 2 times 5, I'll get plus 5 root of 2. And then minus 3 root of 2, because I bring it down. Now I have here 2 surds, both with similar surds, that's 2. So I will subtract them, and my final answer will be 2 plus 5 minus 3, I get 2 root 2. This will be my final answer. Next here, I need to multiply again. But these are different surds. So I will need to multiply them and keep inside one root. So 2 times 3 will be 6. So now I have root of 6. And then 2 times 4, I get minus 4 root 2. Then I bring down plus 3 root of 2. Root of 6 is alone, it will remain root of 6. But negative 4 plus 3, I get negative root of 2. So that's how we simplify brackets of surds. Now here we have 2 brackets. 3 times root of 2, I will get 3 root of 2. 3 times 1, I'll get 3. 2 times root of 2, I'll get 2 root of 2. And 2 times 3, I'll get 6. Then I will collect like terms. 3 plus 2, I'll get 5 root of 2. And then 3 plus 6, I'll get plus 9. And that's how we open the bracket of surds, and then we simplify bracket of surds. Now, let's look at another example. Remember, these are the same similar surds. So when I multiply, I'll get here. Remember, I have 2 bracket 3 times 3, that gives me 2 bracket 9, that gives me 2 times 3, 6. So when I multiply the 2, I'll get 6. Then I multiply root 3 by 1, I'll get root of 3. Minus 2 times root 3, I get 2 root 3. And 2 times 3, I get minus 6. So here now, when I collect like term, I'll get 6 minus 6 plus root of 3 minus 2 root of 3. This will be 0, and this will be minus root of 3, because this here is a 1. And finally, my answer will be negative root of 3. When you look at multiplying the brackets now, here, when there is nothing in the middle, means the brackets are multiplying. So we shall take the first one, that is root of 2, multiplying the second bracket, and we shall get plus 1 to multiply the second bracket. This times the first number, I'll get a 2, because we know root 2 times root 2, we get root of 4, and root of 4 is 2. Then root of 2 times minus 3, I get minus 3 root of 2. 1 times root of 2, I get root of 2. And 1 times 3, I get minus 3. When I collect like terms, that will be 2 minus 3 plus root 2 minus 3 root 2. 2 minus 3, I get minus 1. Root of 2 minus 3 root of 2, I get minus 2 root of 2. And our final answer will be minus 1 minus 2 root of 2. And here we have another example. Let's take root of 3 multiplied by the second bracket. And again, let's take minus 4 to again multiply the second bracket. Hence, root of 3 times root of 3, I get 3. Root of 3 times 5, I get 5 root of 3. Minus 4 times root of 3, I get minus 4 root of 3. Minus 4 times 5, I get minus 20. Then I collect like terms. 3 minus 20 plus 5 root of 3 minus 4 root of 3. Here we shall get minus 17 plus root of 3. Why? Because 5 minus 4, I get 1. And this is how we open and simplify brackets of surds. So this is how we deal with a few questions and related to the surds. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed my lesson, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll be giving you more important video. My name is Mr. Ishengoma.